What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I'm here today to defend Taylor Swift's reputation. Now, I want to talk about kind of the messages of her album, talk a little bit about her herself, and what she kind of did with this album, and kind of talk about what I've seen from people, not people that have watched these videos, but just people in the general public, tabloids and press just in general, and just what people have been saying and kind of discussing a little bit about what we've been seeing. And, quite frankly, people are pretty stupid. People are pretty obnoxious, and so let's get into this. So firstly, Taylor Swift's reputation. Is it what it should be? Yes it is. I think it's a perfectly designed album by what Taylor Swift wanted to do. I think what people fail to realize is she's a person, she's a musician, and she gets to write about and publish whatever she wants. And that's the way with all musicians. If you don't like their music or you don't like the direction somebody's going in, don't listen to the music. Speak with your wallet. We say that all the time. For anything, movies, games, television, anything, speak with your wallet. If you don't like a TV show, don't watch it. You don't like a movie, don't support it. You don't like a video game, don't buy it. If you don't like if you don't like any kind of music, you don't like an artist, don't support them. You don't have to go after them and tell them why they're so wrong for doing what they were doing. And I see that a lot going on with Taylor Swift. Now, yes, is Reputation different? Absolutely. Reputation is a very different kind of album. It's a different sounding Taylor Swift, and while I would argue that New Year's Day, the last song on the album, brings things back and is a very Speak Now, Red-ish kind of song, and maybe a little bit of a sneak preview of where she's going from here, maybe this album is just a speaking statement by her, being the fast energy and being the in-your-face and really talking about what she feels people have said about her and what she's really been doing and all the pressure she's faced and this and that. That could be the statement of this album, but then the last song kind of is in a way symbolic of kind of putting that all behind you and starting anew on New Year's Day. So we could see a very different kind of album next from her, which would be very interesting. I think it would further build on her musical career. But was this album appropriate? Yes. Now, where am I going with this? Well, I didn't really know where I wanted to take this video. I didn't really know what I wanted to talk about. I kind of wanted to just make it a discussion. But funny enough, today, when I turned on my phone, because your phone seems to always know what is going on in your life and your interests and your hobbies, which can be good for certain reasons and can be bad for even worse reasons, but it knows that I'm interested in Taylor Swift, quite obviously. And so there was a couple articles that were published about Taylor Swift, and they were very negative. And one of them in particular was talking about Taylor Swift's inability to pick a side in the political battle of 2016, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton. Now, we're not going to make this about politics, but I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about what people have been saying about Reputation. I feel like the hysteria over Donald Trump has obviously reached a peak, a new high. Every day it reaches a new high. And I think people lash out and pick whatever they can possibly pick to justify whatever kind of agenda they're pushing, and that is just baseline true. You can just look around, you could research it, call me on it if you feel like it, but I'm definitely right. And it's sad that Taylor Swift has been dragged into this. Taylor Swift is probably one of, if not the smartest musicians on the planet. Okay, now I personally think like Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, if you've ever listened to an interview by him, he's probably the smartest person that is in a band or a musician, period. I think he's very smart. Taylor Swift is easily, most likely, number 2. She's a genius. And is she a genius because of just songwriting? No. I think she's a musical genius. But I also think she definitely knows what's up, and she doesn't let herself be brainwashed by the agenda that gets pushed by the media, gets pushed by really anyone. And you could pick. It's not just media that pushes agendas. It's people in general. But here's where I'm going with this. The article was talking about why Taylor Swift why hasn't she picked a side in the political debate? Why wasn't Reputation politicized? Why didn't she talk about politics in it? Now, there could have been theories when Reputation came out that she was going to pick a side, and there are people writing even on our comments, a stupid kind of bot, but also kind of person. I don't feel sorry talking about him because we banned him from the channel. Talking about how this album was going to be criticizing and going after Donald Trump. Taylor Swift is too smart for that. Now, I don't have to tell you if I'm a Hillary or Trump supporter because it doesn't matter. What matters is you don't always need to pick a side. You don't always need to give your allegiance over to one side or the other, and that's where Taylor Swift has become easily the most level-headed person, probably of power, and especially her level of power and her level of wealth. she's easily the smartest. She's obviously worth more than Billy Corgan. So I'd give her that. She has way more pressure on her, way more things just on her plate to deal with, and yet she definitely keeps it all right here. She doesn't make stupid mistakes that often. Maybe you can make, you could, I guess, argue with boyfriend drama and all that stuff, but I'm talking mainly about getting into this kind of political realm. Reputation is perfect the way it is. It's about her relationship, her current relationship, her past relationships, talking about what she's been feeling over the past couple of years, talking about what she's went through, talking about what the press and everybody has thought of her, and kind of making it clear where she stands, where her reputation is, and what she perceives that other people think that her reputation is. That's ultimately what the album is. She does not need to pick a side. And here's the thing. Why would you? Picking a side is suicide either way, and I'll explain why. If you say you're a Donald Trump supporter, which by the way she's not, and that's what I think makes her even more smart, just because she voted for one or the other doesn't make her a bad person. If you voted for Trump, you voted for Trump. Again, I'm not going to tell you what I voted for, who I voted for. If you voted for Trump, you voted for Trump. If you vote for Hillary, you vote for Hillary. You don't have to hate a person for who they voted with. What's important is they don't force it down your throats. That's what's important. Taylor Swift, spoiler alert, voted for Hillary Clinton. We know this. It's common knowledge she voted for Hillary Clinton. Does that mean that a Trump supporter should not like her? No. Because guess what? That's just the way life is. You can have disagreements. That's what makes us human, is having disagreements. You don't have to go after the person for these disagreements, but you can just leave it. So saying like, why hasn't she picked a side? Well, that's because she's incredibly smart. Being a Hillary Clinton supporter, if you say that, and we've seen what happens to celebrities and kind of the negative energy they've gotten. Think about when Hillary was running against Trump, and you see all these advertisements on TV with Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson forcing you and telling you who to vote for. Well, I lost all respect in those actors when they did that, because they're no better than you and me. Taylor Swift is no better than you or me. She's a fantastic musician. She's a better musician than me. She's a better songwriter than me. She's still a person, and I'm still a person. And I'm not going to hold anything against her based on her decision-making of who she votes for. But when you force that on me and you tell me who to vote for, like Robert Downey Jr. did, like Scarlett Johansson did, like all these people, all these celebrities told you must vote Hillary Clinton, or you're stupid, or you're deplorable, or you're this, or you're that. Those celebrities got a ton of backlash. There is mixed reception on these celebrities. There's obviously the supporters of Hillary that were already on her side, and they love them. But then there's the Trump supporters who feel like, yeah, why are you forcing me or telling me who I should vote for, as if I'm somebody who needs to be told, hey, Trump's a bad guy, Hillary's a good person, vote for her. I don't need to be told. And by the way, that's not, what if that's wrong? What if that's not even right? It doesn't matter if it was right or wrong. What matters is I don't want to hear you force it on me. Taylor Swift has never done this. She never got into tweeting. You see Katy Perry and Jessica Chastain and Elizabeth Banks and all this stuff, Hillary's right-hand women. That, being on a ship with Hillary really seals yourself to her fate. And being on a ship with Trump seals yourself on his fate. It's the smartest idea, if you're somewhere in between, or even if you're a loose supporter of one or the other, to keep quiet. You don't have to force your opinions down her throat, and Taylor Swift has done just that. She's never tweeted about who to vote for. She never expressed disappointment in half the country for voting for one person or the other. She's smart. She knows she doesn't want to upset people. Why upset people? Why pick a side? You're going to have half the country that hates you. Why do it? It's not worth it. Even though you could argue most of her supporters probably would be Hillary Clinton supporters. They'd be Democrats. But why would you seal your fate with one side or the other? It doesn't make any sense. More so is this. Never tell an artist what to put into their music. Asking the question, why didn't Taylor Swift make this album more political? Why didn't she make a statement in this album saying, going against Trump, adding to the just hysteria of anti-Trump supporters, or why didn't she make a statement that she is, full on, you can be against him, but you can also say like you're for Hillary or whatever. Why not do that? Well, you can't force somebody to say something that either they don't actually think, which again, I think Taylor Swift did vote Hillary Clinton. Again, that's public knowledge. I don't know if she likes or hates Trump. I don't know. I don't really care. As long as she she can say all she wants that she hates him, that's fine. Don't tell me to hate him, though. Don't tell me to hate him. You can hate him, and you can tell me you hate him, but don't tell me to hate him. Okay, that is the drawing line, and that's where so many of these Hollywood elite and these musicians in general cross that line. Green Day, one of my favorite bands of all time, they're so political now. I mean, they hate Trump supporters. Bands are even saying that if you're a Trump supporter, you shouldn't go to their shows. What kind of country is this? What kind of statement is that? That is a downright dividing statement from the people who supposedly are with the person who wants to unite everybody, and yet they want to divide. That is what makes no sense. That is where Taylor Swift is a genius. She knows, I don't need to do this. And like I said, furthermore, this album serves a purpose. It's for her. It's her relationships. People always said, people have always been annoyed that it's just about her breakups. You can't force an artist to write about something they don't want to write about. If she wants to write about her relationships and she wants to write about her reputation and tell a story that way, let her do it. If you don't like that, or if you think she should have done something else, that's great. Don't support this album. Wait until she makes an album that you want, and then you support it, and that's how you show her that that's the kind of music you want her to make. You don't need to have them make exactly what you want. That's not how this works. If that was the case, why don't you make your own music? Why don't you make your own statement and see how that backfires in your face? This is how the world works. This is how it should work, and yet it doesn't. This is a world where people force their opinions and their agendas down your throat, and if you go against them, then you're an enemy forever. And Taylor Swift has made the bright move to stay directly down the middle. She may be a Democrat, and she may support that, and that's completely cool, whether you're for that or against that. But that doesn't mean she'll ever force it. And I pray and I hope she stays that way forever. She's literally one of the only people to not talk about it. And I think that's genius. I think that honestly, in its own way, takes a lot of guts. Because if there's somebody that I want to push an agenda, or there's somebody I want to make a statement for one side or the other, I would try and get them. You got Katy Perry. She's one of the biggest celebrities out there. Taylor Swift, I'd argue, is bigger than Katy Perry. If you could get Taylor Swift to be full-on anti-something or pro-something, you'd try and do it. And I feel like she definitely has, I'm sure, been asked and told to do that. And I'm sure and positive that she said no. Because that's maybe just the kind of person she is, because I think at heart, she's also just a great person who doesn't need to upset people and doesn't want to divide anybody. She seems like the kind of person that would welcome anybody, the people that actually care about her. And that's how it should always be. So that's really where I want to take this video. I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of all over the place. I think Taylor Swift is super smart. I think she's super talented. I think she's super wise. I think she's a good person. And I think at the end of the day, you can't force somebody to make music they don't want to make. This album is good the way it is. It's not her best work. It's not her worst work. It actually is really good, though. It's incredibly good. And it's a very different kind of direction for her, and I love it, and I'm glad that she did it. And that's the kind of music she wants to make. Don't ever tell an artist the kind of music you want them to make. Ever. That's not up to you. That's up to them. Now, you speak with your wallet. Artists are nothing without fans. But at the end of the day, you have to make music for yourself. You can't make music for people. Because if you make music for people that you don't care about, then you're literally just like a hollow shell doing nothing. And bands have definitely done that and have always said it's a bad idea. You have to make music for yourself that, that relates to yourself, that you connect with and you feel passionate about. You have to be passionate about your music. And you hope that other people feel the same way. That is literally how music works. And Taylor Swift has found that. Maybe Taylor Swift doesn't want to write about political songs. She's never done that in the past. Why start now? Why at this moment in history should she start? It's a terrible idea. Terrible idea to do that. Maybe she does in her next album and things change. I don't know. But I think she doesn't want to get herself mixed up in this absolute chaos of a country we have with so much division and so much hate on both sides because of the party or because of the candidate or because of a view one has versus the other. That is why I think Taylor Swift is probably the smartest or one of the smartest musicians, and higher up, like I said, higher up. She's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. She's one of the richer people. And she's not an elite, she's not like a Wall Street banker, but in terms of the Hollywood industry, in terms of musicians, she's insanely rich. And she's insanely powerful. And she's a female. People look up to her. Rightly so. She is a really good role model for people. And, that puts a lot of pressure on her, I'm sure, and puts a lot of people on her to do things, I bet you, every day. And it takes real guts to stand up to those people and say no, and to do what she wants to do, which I've always respected about her. Say what you want about her music, but it's her music. It's the music she wants to make that goes with literally any artist. You support them or you don't support them with your wallet. So let me know what you guys think of this discussion. What do you think about Taylor Swift as a musician, as a person in general? What do you think about her direction with Reputation? Did she do the right thing to make it about what she wanted it? Should she have made a political statement in the album? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to YouTube channel, Podcast Now, like and share the video. We're going to be having another Taylor Swift video this Sunday, as well as every single Sunday for many weeks to come. I will see you guys there.